So you're gonna fill that whole center area in. No small. Fill that whole middle area in. Then once you have enough of that center filled, you're gonna get some more white, and I want you to go into your blue paint. So you should have white and blue going. We're gonna go now to the two sides. So again, if you want to change the colors and do a different color for the background, please go ahead and do that. You don't have to do the blue. So first, I want it to be darker on the edges and fade into the middle as lighter colors. So I'll brush in that blue first along the edge here. Hi. I know, right? You might as well. Yeah, not too bad. How about you? Very good. I know, right? We gotta take it day by day at this point. All right, relax. Have a good walk. My neighbors, everybody's super friendly. No small, stop. So again, your edges. No small, zip it. He's a big baby. He's about to be 10 years old, my pup. And he still whines when he sees other dogs. Just so you don't think I'm crazy, here's my pup. Say hey, pups. He's handsome. Hi, handsome. All right, back to business here. All right. So your backgrounds should be coming in. Filling that edge in. Now again, if you need more white, you can add the blue and the white together. We're gonna fade it into the center here. So I'm not gonna grab any more blue now. I'm just gonna go into the white because there's enough blue on my brush. So don't wash your brush out, but go ahead and add more of the white. And you're gonna drag it into the white part of your canvas, that center area that we painted. So you can bring it about center. Now when it starts to do this, and I'll move closer so you can see it a little bit better. I hope you guys can see this okay. So when it starts to do this, all you have to do is wet your brush a little bit and go over that line. It'll fade that in together nicer. I hope you guys can see. I hope the glare is not too much, and I don't know where I put my water cup. Did I not bring it out? Ooh, I'm not very organized today, guys. I'm pretty sure I grabbed it 6 times. Okay, I left it. Oh, there it is. Got my water cup, guys. All right. I cannot believe it's so hot outside. Sheesh. All right, here we go. Alright, so we're going to go into that middle area. Like I said, just wet your brush a little bit with some water, or even a little bit of paint will do the trick. And go right through the sides here. The same thing, you're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So I just want to wet my brush a little, just so I can really clean that edge up. Now the bottom I'm not worried about too much, because we're going to put our centerpiece in there. So if you guys have chalk at home, that might be handy too. So I got a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, and we're gonna fill that whole edge up. Fill it in. I'm sure you guys can see. Okay. Same thing, you're gonna make it darker on your edges, so if you still have enough white on your brush, that's good enough. Don't add any more, since we already moved ourselves away from the center part of the canvas. So we did that white section. You have your blue edges. You'll have to give your background just a minute or two to dry. If you're using a lot of paint, it'll take a little bit longer to dry. If you are eager to move forward, if you have a blow dryer handy, you can always blow dry the background. That dries your background a lot faster, within seconds really. And you just kind of fade it in. Touch your brush, tap it out. Always make sure anytime you wet your brush, you do not want to keep it soaking wet. It will ruin your background. So with some white paint, I just want to clean up again that inside line there a little bit. And then even if you want, you can go back to the middle here and just the white hit up the sides, but you got to do it with a nice clean brush. So kind of swish the brush around the inside bottom part of your cup. It really helps, and I always like to kind of wipe a little bit to get the extra water out before I put it on my napkin. And always, always blotch it out on your napkin. So I'm going to go back into the white paint. Pushing through. Just to clean up those edges. And then back over it. Sometimes just with a clean brush. So like, I mean, get all that out, squeeze out the water, and just a little wet. If you go back over all those lines there, it really helps to clean them up and blend them together nicely. And then it's nice gradation there. Nice gradation. So far you should have something along the lines of this. All right. That's where we're going. So again, you gotta give your background a minute or two to dry. Let it dry out nicely. Alright. So if you have chalk, you can use that for this next part to chalk out everything that we're going to be putting on our background. So I actually grabbed some chalk here. I'll show you how to do it. And you can also do it freehand if you're comfortable doing it freehand. But if you feel like you need to, go ahead and trace it out. Hi, Angie's Customs. Sorry, I was trying to do it live on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time, but my laptop failed me. I don't know how to do it. Sorry, guys. So I'm just going to repost this to Facebook after. Hey. Yeah, anytime somebody walks past, this guy likes to go at it. All right. Relax. As your background's drying, you could go ahead and tap it to check it. Make sure it's nice and dry already. So sometimes light touch. My center is totally dry. They dry pretty fast. Hey, put it. So, if you want, you can do this next part with your small brush, or you can do it with your big brush. Either way, whatever you're going to feel comfortable using. So if you're going to use your big brush, just make sure you go ahead and clean that nicely. Get all the paint out. You want a nice clean brush. I'm going to go into the green paint. So any shade of green, honestly, is fine for this. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do the green, I do want to we'll map out our bottom here. So this way we know. So I'm going to use, actually, I'll use the green chalk so you can see it a little better. So for the bottom here, you're gonna do a nice swoop, so almost like a smiley face. Think of a smiley face. All right, no, small, chill out. So think of a smiley face. Smiley face or a semicircle. Add your top half of that on there. Nismo, please. You're going to go inside. So that's your bottom there. And then for your cactus, if you want to trace it out, If you want to trace it out. All right, you're going inside. Come on. Sorry, guys. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Go faster. It's too hot for him right now anyway. All right. So for your cactus itself, I'll come in a little closer here for this part. You want to go nice and wide up top. Then you got to add your 2 arms, which you're going to hook up and out. So we'll do this one first, fill it in. And then if you want, you can plan out where you're going to put your second little guy. You're going to do a nice little circle to go over right on the side of it. So that's if you have chalk. Now, if you don't have chalk, you can also do this. I'll show you guys, though, with the smaller brush, so this way it's a little bit easier. So the brown is going to be for your bottoms. Everybody's all walking now. I told ya that was going to happen. See, but at least up here, you know, it's not, you know, ideal for everybody. But up here, it's very spread out. So for the most part, everybody's pretty good with listening. So with your brown, same thing. If you don't have chalk, you're going to give yourself a semicircle there or a smiley face, and you're going to close it off. And then same thing. I know you still hear him. Wow, I cannot believe how beautiful it is. My back is roasting right now in the sun. There's like 10,000 dogs right now. Literally. I'm gonna share so you can see the cluster of dogs everywhere. Doggies, and 2 more just went that way. Doggies for days. So now you got your shapes in here. You're gonna go ahead, once you have the shapes shaped out, you can go ahead and actually start filling it in. Now the bottom is gonna be solid brown. Now, if you don't have brown, feel free to use black. That works too. If you want to try to make brown, you're going to make orange first, which is red and yellow. Mix those together, you'll make orange. Then you're going to mix in blue with the orange, and you'll start to get a brown. But you kind of have to play around adding in little bits of color to get it to the color that you're going to like. Now, again, if you don't have brown and you want to paint this another color, I am so fine with that. I want you guys to go ahead and make this piece yours. So use whatever colors you have at home on hand. So with the brown, you're going to go ahead and fill it in. I always like to fill in bigger things with my big brush just because it's neater. You don't see as much of the brush marks when you do that, because some colors are a little more transparent than others, so you tend to see where the brush starts and stops. And depending on the type of paint you're using, you may notice it that way as well. Now again, I use acrylic paint for these paintings, but you can absolutely use whatever paint you have at home on hand. And don't feel obligated to do it with the exact same colors. Change it up, do your own thing, have some fun with it. So you're going to fill in the rest of that bottom there. Then for the little lip, the rim of your pot here that it's sitting in, we're going to add a little bit of black to that brown, just to darken this little top section. So a little bit of black mixed with your brown to darken it up a bit. And this one you can kind of use whichever brush you'll feel more comfortable, because I know that is a little bit of a tighter space. Now, if you want, you can kind of add a little shadow, since that's kind of like a shadow now, along the bottom edge too, if you want. So once you have your pot filled in, you can go ahead, wash out your brush. So same thing, make sure you're always kind of swishing it around the inside of your water cup here. You want to make sure to get all that water out and all that paint out. And then again, always wipe it on your napkin. You don't want too much water sitting in there. If you can squeeze it and there's water dripping out, then you have too much water. All that ends up doing is as you're pressing on your canvas, it squeezes, it drips out, and now you'll permanently see that watermark. No matter how much you paint over it, you'll always see it. So you want to make sure to avoid doing that. My paint's drying super fast in the sun. So now we'll go into the green paint. So I have like kind of a foresty, I think it's actually called Christmas tree green. Yeah, Christmas green. But again, you can use any green that you have. I also have a lighter green. So whatever you have. And again, if you don't have all these different colors of paints, blue and yellow will give you green, and you adjust it to the color that you like. So with the green now, I'm gonna go ahead and create my first cactus. So feel free to use the smaller brush if you're not comfortable doing it with this one. If you have chalk, you can go ahead and chalk it on. The best part about that is if you don't like how it looks with the chalk, then you can wipe it off with a damp napkin, very carefully, not to touch any other wet paint, and then you can redo it. So here's your first little cactus here. There you go, not too bad, right? And then you gotta fill in his arms. Be surprised what you could do with that big brush. Totally going for a walk after this. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Or at least sit in your yard if you can't go for a walk, or balcony, or deck, something. But I encourage you guys to get some vitamin D and get out of your house for a few. I know we can't do much, so we gotta make the best of what we got, but maybe crack open all those windows in your house, air it out, start your spring cleaning. I totally started mine. Started my spring cleaning. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I'm talking about I was on the floor scrubbing cabinets and stuff. Oh, I thought I lost you guys for a second. Can't see the screen, it's so bright. Alright, so now you have your first little cactus there. So with the same green you can use, if you have yellow, you're gonna mix a little bit of yellow and green together. That's how we are gonna do our second little cactus. So far, you should be on the same track. We're gonna do our little one now. So lots of yellow and green. So I am not gonna clean my green, the dark green off my brush. I'm just gonna add some yellow on there because we can go into our first, this little guy. And I can always add in green after. It's gonna pick up green from whatever's left on your brush. Did my yellow, and I'll add a little bit of green on my brush to mix in. You know, it's too much. Too much. There we go. There we go. So you got your second little cactus friend in there. Little Cactus Cuties. I think they're adorable. I don't know about the rest of you guys. If you're joining in, I'm pretty sure you agree as well. So right now you should have your 2 cactus in there. Should be coming along pretty good. Stick your arm out the window. I mean, hey, whatever works for you guys at this point. Thankfully, I'm very fortunate to be in a very nice, quiet area that there really isn't too many people out around the same time. So, sorry guys, I'm having a hard time seeing you guys in the sun here. It's beaming. Even if you just open your front door for a second and something. You need some fresh air though, guys, and the sun. That vitamin D will do you some good right now. It's some tough times. Everybody's losing their mind. But the sun makes you happy. Happy. Can open your windows, crack them all open. All of them. Stick your head out. Be like in Spain, if you had a balcony, everybody was on their balconies. I mean, some people have balconies. You can use your balcony if you have one. I know not everybody is able to, depending on your living situations. But be safe, guys. And if you can get out the house, get out for a few minutes. Get some fresh air. You need that to keep you sane. All right, so while we're finished waiting, my green is nice and dry. It's nice and dry. I just wanted to give some people a minute to get caught up. Getting there. So we'll add our little flower now up top here, as long as you're nice and dry. You can always check, touch test, sight test. It'd be if you can see if it's shiny. If it's shiny, then yes, is it still wet? My munchkin's inside watching me through the window. All right. So, with the pink, now the flower is not going to be too bad. It's going to be a little bit of layering of colors, so you will need a little more white if you don't have white. Also, if you are able to enjoy painting in the sun, just be careful not to leave your paints, the paint jugs, directly in the sun. Heat dries your paint, so it will dry it inside your cup. Just be careful. I both have all my paints out in the sun right now, so I should probably move them if I plan on using them later. All right, so now I'm gonna go into, if you have red paint, you're gonna use your red. You can make pink with the red, no problems. If you actually have some pink, we can use some pink for this. So I'm going to go ahead into pink. If you don't have the pink, just add a little bit of white and red. Mix in a little spot of some pink. And you're going to work from there. So actually, let me bring this closer so you guys got a nice little view of how we're going to do the flowers here. So the flowers, you can start by making basically a box. And then you're going to start with your brush flat. Just smush it. You're going to smush it. Now you're going to go back and alternate between going into some pink and some white. It breaks up the color, and just kind of keep doing that shape. Little squares, I guess you can say. And then alternate between darker sets of pink, lighter sets of pink, until you're happy with your little flower. If you want to try to make a different type of flower, I recommend going ahead and giving it a shot. So I'm going to go back now just with white on my brush. Kind of go back and forth with some color, a little bit of red, a little bit of pink, a little bit of white, and just alternate. Do some darker spots, lighter spots. It layers it. Makes it look nice and realistic. Somewhat realistic. So let's create a little flower. And then if you want to use the pink, you can do the pink up here. If you want to change the color and use one of your other colors, maybe you want to do yellow. Maybe you want to do a little blue top for the head. Whatever you want. Oh, hey, little friend. Bye. So, maybe we'll do some yellow. Yellow and red will make orange. Can mix a little. But since mine is pink, it's going to be a little more on the coral side, but that's fine. Totally fine. Go in and I'll add in this one's little head. Flower head. So that is going to be a series of parentheses. And then you'll fill that in. 3 parentheses, fill them in. But they have to connect your parentheses. Connect from top and then to the bottom. So you guys know parentheses, right? You know. Do it on the back. Little parentheses. These are parentheses, right? So instead we're just going to connect them. It's almost like the eyelet shape. Just going to connect them, top and bottom. Not too bad, right? So parentheses, and you're just going to connect them. Parentheses, but connected. And then fill it in. Sometimes adding a little bit of white to give it more of a base helps. You might have to do 2 coats, that's fine. Let it dry and then go over it again. So now you should have your little flowers on the top of your cactus, or cacti. Is it cactus? Cacti? Cacti, I believe, is plural. And then cactus is singular. I hope I said it right. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead now and we'll start adding in the black. So black paint, this one you're definitely going to need your smaller little detail brush for. And we're pretty much going to start outlining everything. So for this part, I'm going to set you, can you see me? Can you see me? Okay, cool. I'm going to set you guys back down. And we're going to start outlining your cactus, your bowl, both of your little cacti, little cacti. So where this overlaps, you're going to jump over, skip that line, and continue it from the bottom there. Because we want to make this one look like it's sitting in front of this one. So right where these two meet, don't follow that line. You're going to go around the circle though, so that we will join the line over here. You got to do your arms, both arms. One little tip, if your brush is like this, right? If you need to get it a little more pointy, if you twist it a little bit against the plate or your palette, whatever you're using, So if you kind of just slightly twist it against the side there, and it helps to bring all those bristles to a point together, and it gives you a nice, neater line. Again, to keep it nice and light, if you keep your hand light, you get a nice thin line. Once you start pushing hard, you get a fatter, thicker line going with it. So you did it round, same thing. You're gonna go now down to the bottom here, and you're gonna start doing the line around your pot. So this is a nice way to clean up any sour edges, anything that looks a little funky or got out of place. You went a little outside of the line where you want it to go. The black is really good to kind of help clean everything up and give you a nice crisp line. Really helps to clean that line up. And sometimes you can't get a full, complete line in one shot and you have to kind of break it up. That's okay. You want a nice, clean line, so don't be afraid to stop and keep going if you have to. I think that's all of ours. All right, so now we're gonna go back into the inside. Our green should be nice and dry now. It should be nice and dry. You're gonna do our eyes. We gotta add the mouth on both of our cacti here. So for the eyes, this one I had cute little, looks like it's, you know, smiling with its eyes closed. This one's got the eyes wide open. Feel free to change anything you want on it. If you want to do the face differently, I encourage you to do so. If you have a specific little face in mind that you want to add on there, go for it. For this one though, I'm going to do a nice little 1 arch, 2 arch. We'll add little eyebrows. And then since this one has the pretty flower on top, figured we could add a few little eyelashes. And our smile. That's your first little cutie face. And we'll go into this one. This one I have is some nice big old eyes. Some like googly eyes over here. So, one nice eye circle. Got another one. And then you fill it in. And then you gotta add your little mouth, your eyebrows. So same thing, little eyebrows. If you want to add little eyelashes on it, you can. If you don't want to add the eyelashes, you don't have to. Just adds a little character, more character to it. And our little smiley face. If you want, you can outline the flower. You don't have to. And then we're going to add our 2 little lines coming down the inside of our face here. So let me see if I can actually, so you can still see it while I'm doing it. So you gotta go right kind of to the, use the flower as your center point. And a nice small line. If you push very soft, you get a nice skinny line. If you're gonna push hard, It's not like a pencil. Don't think of it like a pencil. You don't want to push that hard. Nice and light will give you a nice thin line. If you push hard, you're going to get a chunky line. So nice and light. Same thing. Find your middle point. Pick a spot. If you have to do a little dot, go for it. And drag that down.
Left the garbage pails out, so I said, well, if they're still out this morning, I'll put them up in his front yard so he has to look at them also. If I gotta look at them, I want him to look at them.
Alright. So now you got your 2 little lines. So now we gotta go in and add all our little spikes.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's got in the basement again. Yeah.
Gotta add all our little spikes
Down in
in.
the basement. Let Harry deliver.
So the little spikes are pretty easy. For that part, you can kind of just do some nice little, almost like how we did the eyelashes. Almost how like we did the eyelashes. Little random spots. See, just little spots. Gonna add little spikes. All the little pricklies. The old people are mad because there's kids playing on the thing. Oh well. Kids need some exercise too. Again, make sure. Got a couple little spikes coming out from all over. And they don't all have to be grouped together. You could do single ones also. Whatever works for you guys. Do a combination of a few different ways of doing it. Got a couple that they're up, one down. So whatever works for you guys. And then same thing on your little one. Give it a few spots where it comes out. Swirl your brush if you need to so they can get a nice point. All right, and then we gotta add our last little details. Oh yeah, could add some, if you want to add some inside the spikes, you can. I'm sorry, some spikes on the inside of the face, you can. That's what I meant to say. And then we just have to get some white paint. Go back in with the white. So white paint, gonna go into your eyes. Big dot, little dot, big one, little one. And then last but not least, if you want to add some stuff on the bottom, go ahead and decorate your pot. If you want to put love, you could put grow, you could put happy, whatever you want it to say, something encouraging. If you want to do hearts, you want to do polka dots, however you want to decorate the bottom. This is where you can kind of get a little more creative and do your own thing. So I'll do a little heart. Little heart. Ooh, that one, wind is coming. And again, if you have to do a couple of coats, it's okay. White always helps as a nice base though. Huh? And then you can put whatever you want it to say. So maybe for this one, I'll do grow. And then don't forget your last but not least, go ahead and sign your beautiful piece of art. So always sign it. Sign it wherever you want. I like to do my initials on the bottom, nice and small. But this is your masterpiece. Enjoy it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in today. And for my adults, I will be doing a nice little night class for you guys later. So make sure you set the kids up, get them ready for bed, and join me again tonight at 7:30. That one I'll probably be posting on Facebook. I'm going to see if I can try to figure out how to post on both at the same time for later. So wish me luck, guys. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. I cannot wait to see what you created. So if you did follow along or you're going to plan on doing it later, definitely send me a clip. I would love to see your beautiful piece of art. Until next time, guys. Peace out. Now let's see where the light is so I can hit the end button. Got it.